I was sitting in the kitchen when her phone lit up on the counter. She was in the shower. The water was still running, and I wasn't trying to invade her privacy or anything. The screen just turned on right in front of me. One message from a name I recognized immediately. Her personal trainer. The guy from that new gym she'd been going to for the past 3 months. The message said, "Thinking about yesterday." 5 words. That's all it took for my stomach to twist into something I didn't recognize. I picked up the phone. I knew her passcode, our anniversary. The irony wasn't lost on me. But I wasn't thinking about that. I just unlocked it and stared at those 5 words. Yesterday. She told me she'd had a double session, extra cardio. She came home around 8:30, exhausted, barely said a word, and went straight to bed. I remembered thinking she looked different, flushed, distracted. I'd asked if she was okay, and she'd smiled and said she was just tired. My hands were steady. I don't know why, but they were. I opened the text thread and started scrolling. Weeks of messages. At first, nothing too obvious, just friendly banter, workout tips, encouragement. Then I scrolled further. Plans, times. Can't wait to see you. That was incredible. When can we do that again? My jaw tightened. I scrolled back to the most recent message. Thinking about yesterday. The shower was still running. I could hear her humming. Actually humming like everything was normal. Like she hadn't just destroyed 4 years of my life. I didn't think. I just typed. As her. Come over right now. He left for work. I hit send before I could second guess it. The reply came in 14 seconds. Seriously? I typed back. Yes, hurry. On my way? 20 minutes. I put the phone down. Didn't move. Just sat there at the kitchen counter, staring at the screen. The shower turned off. I heard the bathroom door open. She was still humming as she walked down the hallway, wrapped in a towel, hair dripping wet. She came around the corner and saw me. Then she saw the phone in my hand. The humming stopped. Her face changed instantly, confusion first, then something closer to panic. Expecting someone? I asked. My voice was calm, too calm. She froze, completely froze. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. I lifted the phone so she could see the screen, the messages, the conversation I just had with him, pretending to be her. The color drained from her face. She tried to step forward, reaching for the phone, but I pulled it back. "Give me that," she said. Her voice was shaking. "He's on his way," I said. "Should be here in about 15 minutes now." "What?" Her eyes went wide. "What did you do?" "I invited him over. You know, since you were thinking about yesterday so much." She grabbed the edge of the counter. Her knuckles turned white. "This isn't what it looks like." I didn't respond. I just looked at her, dripping wet, towel barely staying on, panic all over her face. "Please," she said, "let me explain." "Explain what? That you've been texting your trainer for months? That yesterday was so memorable he couldn't stop thinking about it? Which part needs explaining?" She started crying, actual tears. But I wasn't moved, not even a little. The doorbell rang. Her head snapped toward the front door, then back to me. Pure terror in her eyes. "He's early," I said, standing up. "Eager, I guess." "Don't answer that," she whispered. "Please don't answer that." I walked past her toward the door. She grabbed my arm, but I shook her off. "Don't move," I said without looking at her. I reached the door and put my hand on the handle. I could hear her breathing behind me, fast, panicked. I opened it. Standing there was a guy in his late 20s, athletic build, holding cheap flowers from a gas station. His smile disappeared the second he saw me. "You must be thinking about yesterday," I said. His face went blank. He took a step back, but I moved forward, blocking his path. No, come in." My voice was steady, almost friendly. "She's waiting for you." He tried to back away, but I was already in his space. "Come on, don't be shy." I grabbed his shoulder and basically pulled him through the doorway. He stumbled inside, still holding those pathetic flowers. She was standing in the hallway, still in the towel. Her face was pure panic. The trainer looked at her, then at me, then back at her. Reality was hitting him hard. "Sit down," I said, pointing at the couch. He didn't move, just stood there like a deer in headlights. I said, "Sit down." My voice dropped lower, not loud, just firm. He sat. The flowers were still in his hand, hanging awkwardly at his side. I walked over to the armchair across from him and sat down. Leaned back, crossed my legs, completely casual. She was frozen in place, 10 feet away, clutching the towel. "So," I said, looking directly at the trainer. "Yesterday. Tell me about yesterday." Silence. Heavy silence. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. "Let me help you remember," I said, picking up her phone. "Since you were thinking about it so much." I started reading out loud. Messages from the past week. "Can't stop thinking about you." That was him. Same. "When can I see you again?" That was her. "Tomorrow after your session. Same hotel." Him again. My voice stayed completely level, like I was reading a grocery list. The trainer's face turned red, then white. He looked like he might throw up. She started crying harder. "Stop," she said. "Please stop." I didn't stop. I kept reading. More messages, more plans. Specific details about where they met, what they did, how long it had been going on. 3 months. Every Tuesday and Thursday after her training sessions. When I finished, I put the phone down on the coffee table, right between us. "So," I said, looking at the trainer. "Anything you want to add?" He shook his head, still couldn't speak. "No? Nothing?" I leaned forward slightly. "You came all the way over here with flowers. You must have something to say." "I didn't know," he finally managed. His voice cracked. "I didn't know you'd be here." I almost laughed. "Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? You thought the coast was clear." He stood up suddenly. "I should go." "Sit down." "I really should leave." "Sit down." He sat. I looked at him for a long moment. "How old are you?" 28. 28. "And you thought this was a good idea? Sleeping with a married client?" He didn't answer. "Does your gym know about this?" I asked. His eyes went wide. "Please don't. Please." "What? Tell them you're using your position to hook up with clients? That seems like something they'd want to know." "I'll quit," he said quickly. "I'll quit right now." "Too late for that." She finally found her voice. "This is between us. Leave him alone." I turned to look at her. Genuinely looked at her for the first time since opening the door. "You don't get to talk right now." She flinched like I'd hit her. I stood up and walked to the door, opened it wide. "You can leave now," I told the trainer. He jumped up so fast he almost tripped. He dropped the flowers on the floor and practically ran out. I watched him get in his car and peel out of the driveway. Gone in seconds. I closed the door, locked it, turned around. She was crying into her hands now. full breakdown mode. I walked past her toward the bedroom. "Get dressed. We're not doing this while you're standing there in a towel." "Where are you going?" she called after me. "To get your suitcase." I heard her footsteps behind me. "What?" I pulled her suitcase out of the closet and tossed it on the bed. "You're staying at your sister's tonight." "You can't kick me out. This is my house too." I stopped, turned to face her. "No, it's not. The lease is in my name. I pay the rent. You moved in 2 years ago." Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. "Pack a bag," I said. "Enough for a few days. We'll figure out the rest later. We need to talk about this." "No, we don't. Not tonight." I walked out of the bedroom and grabbed my laptop from the kitchen counter. While she got dressed and packed, I sat back down and opened my banking app. Started going through statements, looking for anything suspicious. Any charges I didn't recognize. Found a few. Hotel rooms. Charged to our joint card. She wasn't even trying to hide it. I took screenshots, saved them to a folder. She came out 20 minutes later, dressed in jeans and a sweater, pulling her suitcase behind her. Her eyes were red and puffy. "Can we please just talk?" she asked. "How long?" I asked without looking up from the laptop. "What? How long has this been going on?" Silence. I looked up at her. "How long?" 3 months, she whispered. I nodded slowly. "When you joined that gym." She didn't deny it. "Get out," I said quietly. "Please get out of my house." She started crying again, but she moved toward the door. She stopped with her hand on the handle. "I love you," she said. I didn't respond, just stared at the laptop screen. She left. The door closed behind her. I heard her car start, heard her drive away. Then I was alone. Finally alone. I closed the laptop, sat there in the silence for exactly 10 seconds. Let myself feel the anger. Let it surface just for those 10 seconds. Then I pushed it back down, picked up my phone, made a call. My friend Keith answered on the second ring. "Hey, what's up?" "I need the name of your lawyer friend," I said. "The one who does family law." There was a pause. "Everything okay?" "No, but it will be. Can you text me the number?" "Yeah, I'll send it right now. You need anything else?" "Not yet, thanks." I hung up. The text came through 30 seconds later. I saved the number, didn't call yet. It was almost 9 at night. But I would call first thing in the morning. I got up, walked to the door, made sure it was locked. Then I went around and checked every window, every entry point. She wasn't getting back in tonight, or any night, not without a fight. I didn't sleep much that night, didn't try to. I spent most of it going through her phone, every message, every photo, every app. She had a separate Instagram account I didn't know about. Private, only 40 followers, most of them men from her gym. The trainer was there. Lots of comments on her posts, lots of likes. I saved everything. Screenshots of conversations, photos, posts. All of it went into a folder on my laptop labeled Documentation. Around midnight, my phone started buzzing. Her calling. I let it go to voicemail. She called again and again, 5 times in 20 minutes. I turned the phone on silent and kept working. By 3 in the morning, I had a complete timeline. When it started, how often they met, where they went, the hotels, even found receipts in her email. She'd forwarded confirmations to herself. Sloppy. I finally laid down around 4, set an alarm for 7. When it went off, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. but I got up anyway, showered, made coffee, got dressed for work. At 8:30, I called the lawyer, a woman named Dorothy Richardson. Keith had sent me her info with a note. "She's tough. You'll like her." She answered on the third ring. "Richardson Law, this is Dorothy." "Hi, my name's... Actually, my friend Keith Gyros gave me your number. He said you handle divorce cases." "I do. Are you looking to file?" "Yes." "When did you decide this?" "Last night." There was a pause. "That's pretty recent. Do you want to tell me what happened?" I gave her the short version, found the messages, confronted them both, kicked her out. "Do you have documentation?" she asked. "Screenshots, bank statements, receipts, photos, a full timeline." "Good. That's very good. Most people don't think that clearly this fast." She sounded impressed. "How long have you been married?" 4 years. "Any kids?" "No." "Property?" "We rent. Lease is in my name only. I pay it. She moved into my place 2 years ago." "Even better. That keeps things simpler. Listen, I have an opening tomorrow at 2. Can you come by my office?" "I'll be there." "Bring everything you have. We'll go through it and talk about next steps." I hung up and felt something I hadn't felt in 12 hours. Control, not peace, not happiness, just control. I went to work. Told my supervisor I had a personal matter and might need some time off in the next few weeks. He didn't ask questions, just nodded and said to let him know what I needed. Around noon, she started texting. "Please, can we talk? I'm sorry. This isn't what you think. I made a terrible mistake. Please don't shut me out." I didn't respond to any of them, just screenshot each one and added them to the folder. Then her sister called. Kimberly. I almost didn't answer, but decided I should. "What did you do to her?" she demanded before I could even say hello. "You should ask her that question." "She's a mess. She won't stop crying. She showed up at my place last night, hysterical." "Did she tell you why?" "She said you kicked her out over a misunderstanding." I laughed. Couldn't help it. A misunderstanding. That's what she called it. What's going on? "Ask her to show you her phone. Look at the messages between her and her trainer. Then call me back if you still think I'm the problem." Silence on the other end, then quieter. "Her trainer?" "Yeah. 3 months worth of messages. Hotels, plans, everything." More silence. "I'm filing for divorce," I said. "She can stay with you as long as she needs to. We'll figure out the rest later." "Wait." I hung up, blocked the number. I didn't need her family in my ear trying to mediate. That afternoon, I did some research on the trainer. Found his gym's website easily. Big commercial place downtown. He was listed on the staff page. Jack Myers, personal training specialist. I clicked on his profile, read his bio, dedicated to helping clients achieve their fitness goals through personalized training programs. Sure, personalized. I drafted an email, kept it professional, addressed it to the gym manager, to whom it may concern. "I'm writing to bring to your attention a serious professionalism issue involving one of your trainers, Jack Myers. I have documented evidence that he is engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a married client. I believe this violates your code of conduct and puts your business at risk. I'm happy to provide documentation if needed. This is not a threat or an attempt at blackmail, simply informing you of employee behavior that reflects poorly on your establishment. Thank you for your time." I attached 3 screenshots. Nothing too explicit, just enough to show the relationship was inappropriate and ongoing. I sent it. Didn't expect a response. Didn't need one. 2 hours later, she tried to come to the house. I heard the key in the lock, but the lock didn't turn. I'd called a locksmith that morning before work. New locks, new keys. She knocked, then pounded. "Let me in. This is my house too." I stood on the other side of the door. Didn't say anything, just waited. "I know you're in there. Open the door." I pulled out my phone and started recording. Audio only, documenting everything. She kept pounding, yelling, screaming about her rights, about how I couldn't just lock her out. After 5 minutes, she stopped. I heard her on the phone. "He changed the locks. I don't know. No, I don't have anywhere else to go. Can you just come get me?" She left. Car started. Drove away. I saved the recording, added it to the folder. That night, I went to the gym. Not her gym, mine. The one I'd been going to for years before she even started working out. I needed to move. Needed to do something physical. I ran on the treadmill for 40 minutes. Lifted weights. Pushed myself harder than I had in months. When I got home, there were 17 missed calls. 12 from her. 5 from numbers I didn't recognize. Probably her family. I deleted the voicemails without listening to them. Blocked the unknown numbers. My phone buzzed. Text from Keith. "Heard you called Dorothy. You doing okay?" "I will be," I typed back. "Need anything?" "Not right now. Thanks for the contact. Anytime. Serious offer. If you need to talk or just want to grab a beer, let me know. I appreciate it. I meant it. But I wasn't ready to talk about it yet. Wasn't ready to hear anyone's opinion or advice or sympathy. I just needed to keep moving forward. One step at a time, one action at a time. Document everything. Protect myself. Don't engage. The next morning, I met with Dorothy. She went through everything I brought. Nodded a lot, made notes. Asked specific questions about finances, property, timeline. "This is one of the cleaner cases I've seen," she said finally. "You documented everything. You have clear evidence. The property situation is straightforward. Unless she contests it aggressively, this should move fairly quickly." "How quickly?" "In this state, if it's uncontested, we could have everything finalized in 60 to 90 days. And if she contests it, then we go to court. But honestly, with this evidence, I don't think her lawyer will advise her to fight. She doesn't have much ground to stand on." "Good." Dorothy looked at me over her glasses. "You're handling this remarkably well." "I'm angry. I'm hurt. But I'm also done. There's nothing to handle except the paperwork." She smiled slightly. "I wish more of my clients had that clarity. Makes my job easier." I left her office with a plan. She'd draft the papers. I'd be served within the week. Then we'd wait for her response. Everything was in motion. No going back now. Not that I wanted to go back anyway. 3 days later, I got a call from Keith. "Did you email Jack Myers' gym?" "I did. Why?" "He got fired yesterday. One of my buddies works there. Said management called an emergency meeting and let him go on the spot." I didn't feel guilty, not even slightly. "Good. Dude, your eyes are cold right now." He knew what he was doing. He made his choice. He laughed. "Fair enough. Just wanted to give you the update." After we hung up, I did some more digging. Found Jack's social media. His relationship status had changed from in a relationship to nothing. Recent posts were deleted, but I scrolled back far enough to find photos of him with a girl. Tagged. Her name was Blakely. I clicked on her profile. Public account. Recent post from 2 days ago. Long caption about people who lie and trust being broken. No names mentioned, but the timing lined up. Someone had told her. Maybe the gym. Maybe a mutual friend. Either way, she knew. I felt a slight satisfaction about that. Not because I enjoyed other people's pain, but because consequences were happening. Actions were having results. The world was working the way it should. That night, she showed up at my work. I was leaving the building when I saw her car in the parking lot. She got out when she saw me. "We need to talk," she said. "No, we don't." Keith was with me. He'd given me a ride that morning since my car was in the shop. He stood next to me, not saying anything, just present. "Please," she said, walking closer. "Just 5 minutes. You can talk to my lawyer. I have nothing to say to you. Don't do this. Don't throw away 4 years over one mistake." I stopped, turned to look at her directly. "One mistake? You were sleeping with him for 3 months. That's not one mistake. That's dozens of choices. Every time you texted him, every time you met him, every time you lied to me about where you were." Her eyes filled with tears. I know I messed up. But we can fix this." "No, we can't." "Why not? People work through this all the time." "Because I don't want to. I'm done." She reached out like she was going to touch my arm, but I stepped back. Keith moved slightly closer to me. A subtle shift. Back up. "You're being served tomorrow," I said. "Divorce papers. Dorothy Richardson from Richardson Law will handle everything on my end. Get yourself a lawyer if you want, or don't. Either way, this is happening." "You already filed?" Her voice cracked. "It's only been a week. Should I have waited longer, given you time to delete more evidence?" She had no response to that. "I have to go," I said. Turned and walked toward Keith's truck. She called after me. "I still love you." I didn't turn around, didn't respond. Just got in the truck and closed the door. Keith drove in silence for a few minutes. Then, "You good?" "Yeah." That was rough. It needed to happen. He nodded. Didn't push it, just drove. When I got home, I opened my laptop and sat there in the silence. The house felt different now. Empty, but not in a bad way. More like a blank canvas, space to breathe. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "This is Kimberly." I saw the messages. "You were right. I'm sorry. She's still staying with me. But I told her she needs to figure this out herself. I can't defend what she did." I stared at the message for a long time. Typed back. "I appreciate you saying that. Do you think you'll ever forgive her?" "No, that's fair. For what it's worth, she's genuinely devastated." Good. No response after that. I didn't expect one. The next day, Friday, the papers were served. Dorothy called me around noon to confirm. She was served at her sister's address this morning, signed for them herself. Did she say anything? The process server said she cried, but she took the papers. What happens now? She has 30 days to respond. If she contests anything, we'll get a court date. If she doesn't respond at all, we can move forward with a default judgment. And if she signs without contesting, then we're looking at finalization in about 2 months, maybe less. That fast? You have no kids, no shared property, clear evidence of infidelity, and you're not asking for anything unreasonable. Cases like this move quickly when everyone cooperates. She won't cooperate. Dorothy paused. You think she'll fight it? I think her family will convince her to fight it. They'll tell her she deserves more, that she can get something out of this. Let them try. We have documentation. We have evidence. We have the lease in your name. She moved into your place. She didn't contribute to rent based on your bank records. There's nothing for her to get. Her family doesn't care about facts. They care about winning. Then we'll see them in court, and we'll win. I hung up feeling oddly calm. The wheels were in motion. Whatever happened next was just procedure. That weekend, I did something I hadn't done in years. I called an old friend, Finn. We'd been close in college, but drifted after I got married. She never liked him much, said he was too self-centered. I defended him back then, told her she just didn't know him like I did. Funny how that works. Holy hell, Finn said when he answered. Is this actually you? Yeah, it's me. Haven't heard from you in what, 3 years? About that, I know. I'm sorry. What happened? You okay? Long story. Short version, I'm getting divorced. Silence on the other end. Then, want to grab a beer? Yeah, I do. We met at a bar near his place. Dive bar, pool tables, old rock music playing. The kind of place I used to go to before everything became about couples' dinners and her schedule. Finn listened to the whole story without interrupting. When I finished, he just shook his head. Man, I'm sorry. That's brutal. It is what it is. You doing okay, though? Like, genuinely? I thought about it. Yeah, I think I am. I'm angry. But I'm okay. Good. Because honestly, you seem more like yourself right now than you have in years. What do you mean? Last time I saw you, before you stopped returning calls, you were stressed all the time. Always worried about making her happy. Walking on. He stopped himself. You know what I mean. You weren't you anymore. I nodded slowly. He was right. I hadn't noticed it until now, but he was right. We played pool, drank beer, talked about nothing important, sports, work, music, normal stuff. When I got home that night, I felt lighter. Not happy, not healed, but lighter. The next morning, I woke up to 15 missed calls, all from her, and 3 voicemails. I listened to the first one. I can't believe you're actually doing this. After everything we built together, you're just throwing it away. You're being cruel and selfish, and I hope you realize what you're losing. I deleted it without listening to the other 2. Blocked her number again. She kept getting new numbers somehow. Borrowing phones, probably, or borrowing other people's phones. Didn't matter. Each time I just blocked it and moved on. Dorothy called Monday morning. She hired a lawyer. Name's Victor Hester. He's local. I've dealt with him before. He's aggressive, but not particularly good. What does that mean for us? It means he'll make a lot of noise and try to intimidate. But when we get to court, facts matter more than volume. We'll be fine. So we're going to court. Looks like it. Her lawyer filed a response contesting the division of assets. They're claiming she's entitled to compensation for emotional investment in the relationship. I almost laughed. Emotional investment? It's a Hail Mary. They know they don't have a strong case. They're hoping we'll offer a settlement to avoid court. I'm not settling. Good. Neither am I. Court date was set for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, life continued. Work, gym, occasional beers with Finn or Keith. Simple routine. The house stayed clean. I started cooking again. Nothing fancy. Just normal meals. It felt good to take care of myself. 3 weeks in, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Is this... A man's voice. Older. her father. I hung up immediately, blocked the number. 2 minutes later, another call. Different number. I answered out of curiosity. "Don't hang up," her father said quickly. "I just want to talk." "There's nothing to talk about." "She made a terrible choice. But she's my daughter. Can you please just hear me out?" "No." I hung up again. He didn't call back. At least not from a number, I answered. The days moved forward, one after another, each one a little easier than the last. Not because the pain was gone, but because I was building something new. A life that was actually mine. The court date arrived faster than I expected. 6 weeks felt like both forever and no time at all. I wore a suit, navy blue, white shirt, conservative tie. Dorothy had told me appearance mattered. Look professional, calm, collected. I did. She showed up with her lawyer, Victor Hester, mid-50s, expensive suit, too much cologne. The kind of guy who probably thought he could win on charisma alone. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back, simple black dress. She was going for sympathy, I could tell. When our eyes met across the hallway, she tried to smile. Small, sad, apologetic. I looked away. We sat in the courtroom. The judge was a woman in her 60s, Judge Chelsea Foley. She had a reputation for being fair, but no nonsense. Dorothy had seemed pleased when we found out who was assigned to our case. Victor spoke first, gave a whole speech about how his client had invested 4 years of her life into the marriage, how she'd supported me emotionally, how she deserved fair compensation for her contributions. I watched the judge's face. She didn't look impressed. Dorothy stood up when it was our turn. She didn't give a speech. She just presented documents. Bank statements showing I paid all rent. Lease with only my name. Screenshots of the messages. Hotel receipts charged to our joint account. Your Honor, the evidence is clear. The respondent engaged in a prolonged affair while living rent-free in my client's home. She contributed minimally to household expenses. The property in question is leased solely in my client's name. There is no marital property to divide. My client is asking for a clean dissolution with no support payments either direction. The judge looked at Victor. Does your client dispute any of these documents? He hesitated. No, Your Honor, but we maintain that emotional contributions are not quantifiable assets, the judge interrupted. Do you have documentation of financial contributions to the household? My client worked part-time at a boutique. Her income went toward groceries and personal expenses. So she paid for her own living expenses while residing in a home she didn't pay rent for. Victor didn't have a good answer for that. The judge flipped through the documents, looked at the messages. Her expression hardened. 3 months, she said. Not a question, just a statement. Your Honor, my client acknowledges she made an error in judgment. An error in judgment is forgetting to pay a bill. This was a sustained pattern of deception. The judge looked directly at my ex. Do you have anything to say? She stood up. Her voice was shaky. I know I messed up. I know I hurt him. But I still care about him. I don't want to lose everything. You already lost everything, the judge said flatly. The question is whether you're entitled to anything you didn't bring into this marriage. Based on what I'm seeing, the answer is no. She looked at both lawyers. Unless either party has additional evidence, I'm ready to issue a ruling. Victor looked at his client. She shook her head. Nothing else to present? Very well. The judge signed several documents. Marriage is dissolved. No spousal support. No division of assets beyond personal belongings each party brought into the marriage. This is effective immediately. Just like that, it was over. We walked out of the courtroom. She tried to approach me in the hallway, but Dorothy stepped between us. My client has nothing to say to you. All future communication goes through me. Victor pulled her back. They left through a different exit. Dorothy turned to me. You're officially divorced. That was fast. Judge Foley doesn't waste time when the evidence is clear. She saw right through the emotional contribution argument. What happens now? Now, nothing. You're free. Go live your life. I shook her hand, thanked her, paid her final invoice on the spot. When I walked out of the courthouse, the sun was bright, almost blinding. I stood there for a moment, just breathing. Then I got in my car and drove home. My home, just mine. I unlocked the door, walked inside, put my keys on the hook, loosened my tie. The silence was complete, but it wasn't empty anymore. It was peaceful. I pulled out my phone, texted Keith and Finn in a group chat. It's done. Drinks tonight. Both responded within seconds. Hell yes. About time. I'll buy the first round. I smiled, set the phone down, looked around the house. It needed paint, new furniture, maybe some work. But it was mine, and that was enough. 3 months later, I was a different person. Not better, not worse, just different. I'd repainted the entire house. Gray walls instead of the beige she'd picked. New couch, new bedding. Everything that reminded me of her was gone. Donated or trashed. Work was good, steady. I'd taken on some extra projects, kept busy, kept my mind occupied. The gym became a regular thing again, 4 times a week. I was in better shape than I'd been in years. Finn and Keith became constants. Weekly dinners, weekend plans. The kind of friendships I'd let fade when I got married. One afternoon, a woman from work approached me. Fiona. She worked in accounting. We'd talked a few times, always friendly, professional. Hey, she said. A few of us are going to that new place downtown Friday. You interested? I hesitated. Then, yeah, sure, sounds good. She smiled. Great, I'll text you the details. It wasn't a date, just co-workers hanging out. But it felt like a step, a normal step forward. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number, text message. I know you probably won't read this, but I needed to say I'm sorry. Genuinely sorry. You deserved better. I hope you're happy. Her. Had to be. I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond. Tell her I wasn't happy yet. But I was getting there. Tell her the divorce was the best thing that could have happened. Instead, I just blocked the number. Deleted the message. Some things didn't need a response. I made dinner. Nothing fancy. Pasta, salad. Ate at the table instead of in front of the TV. After I cleaned up, I stood in the kitchen and looked around. My space, my rules, my life. The anger was gone now, mostly. Replaced by something calmer. Acceptance, maybe, or just moving forward. I didn't forgive her. Probably never would. But I didn't need to. Forgiveness wasn't required for me to be okay. I grabbed my keys, went for a drive. No destination, just drove. The city looked different at night. Quieter, cleaner somehow. When I got back home, I sat on the porch for a while, just breathing, existing. My phone buzzed. Text from Fiona. Looking forward to Friday. I typed back, me too. And I meant it. Life wasn't perfect, wasn't even close, but it was mine, completely mine. And that was enough. More than enough. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.